just before the video starts, make sure you go and check out my website, ystech.org. This is the place where you're going to be finding the latest news and everything great in technology, from reviews to tutorials and much more. So make sure you go check it out in the description, ystech.org. I'll see you there. Hey guys, it is Wise from ystech.org here, and today we're going to be doing a December computer build. Now this is a pretty cool gaming PC, especially for Christmas, and if you haven't already, go check out the 11 present stocking stuffers for gamers or teenagers. Maybe you can recommend those to your parents. Now let's go ahead and get straight into the PC build. So we've got all the parts here, and overall it came to $1,506 New Zealand, so a bit of a premium build, I guess, so mid-range build, and let's go ahead and get straight into it. So first of all, we've got the AMD Ryzen 5 3600 clocked at 3.6 GHz. So it's a 6-core processor, and it's about $349 from PB Tech, which is out of stock right now, or you can get from Computer Lounge for $369. This is a pretty good CPU for what it is. I mean, you could go for a cheaper Ryzen 3 processor if you'd like, but in the long run, this would probably pay off better, especially at 1080p. Overall, I mean, you could get AMD Ryzen 5 5600X, which just came out and is amazing in performance and gaming, but is very expensive in New Zealand. It's about $580, so quite pricey for most people. So I'd recommend this CPU as a good alternative between the low end and the high end. Now again, a lot of people would say, this would be a little bit lower end now, but with pricing, it's probably the best you can get right now for this price, I guess, at least this budget. So let's head over to the motherboard. We've got the Gigabyte B550M gaming micro ATX motherboard. It looks like a pretty good motherboard. It's got this cool IO shield here, pre-installed. Comes with 2 DIMM slots, which is pretty good for the RAM, and because we've only got 2 RAM sticks here for 16 gigs, and comes with 1 16X slot and 4 SATA, I believe. Overall, looks pretty solid. Comes out at about $188 from PB Tech. Now, if you can't find this motherboard, try find another B550 motherboard. That should be fine. The B450s will also work, but the B550s are more future-proof. So I'd probably try to go with B550 motherboard, especially for Ryzen right now. I know that some of them I need BIOS updates to work with the latest CPUs, so I do know that. So let's head over to the RAM. We've picked the Kingston HyperX Fury RGB 16 gigs to 8GB sticks, DDR4 3200 MHz RAM. It's got the cool RGB, I guess, at the top. It was pretty reasonably priced, that's why I put it in here. There are cheaper ones you can get with 3200 if you don't mind RGB or not. Personally, myself, I don't care about RGB, so I'd go for something cheaper, but a lot of you guys like the RGB, so this is probably the one I'd get. This is about $145 from PC Force, and looks like a pretty solid kit of RAM. It's by Kingston HyperX, and I have Kingston HyperX, not this specific one. I have 2400 MHz RAM, DDR4, and I've never had a problem with mine. And I've bought another kit, so I have 4 gig sticks, so 16 in total. I can probably vouch for Kingston, I'd say, if my word even means anything. Alright, so let's get over to the SSD. We've got the Samsung 860 EVO 500 gig SSD. Comes on at about $99 from PB Tech or $99 from Computer Lounge. Now this is a solid SSD. I'm actually using it right now in my computer as I speak. So it's a pretty solid SSD. Get the pun not intended. It's really quick, really reliable from what I've used it so far, about 2 months, and I would just recommend going with Samsung SSDs, to be honest. I've had so many failures on other brands, it's ridiculous. The only brand I've never had failures personally is Samsung, but that could be on my own bias or just things I do that could not be good for the SSD that I don't know of. But personally, whenever I've used a Samsung SSD, I've never really had an issue. Alright, so let's go over to the graphics card. So we've got the Gigabyte Radeon RX 5600 XT, 6GB WindForce Edition. Now you can go for any other RX 5600 XT, they're all pretty good. This one's about $429 from Playtech, that's why I put it in here. Now some people would argue that this was actually kind of lower end now, but I guess you could say that, but prices are really expensive in New Zealand for graphics cards or any of these parts you can see here. They're not really cheap. Even with a Boxing Day sale, they're not that reasonable, and it's hard to say when prices will come down or when they will stay up. I found it quite difficult in the last year to do that. In the previous years before, it's quite easy to say, in quarter one it will be more expensive, blah blah blah. Quarter two might be go down a little bit, and quarter three might be a little bit cheaper, and quarter four might be a little bit cheaper as well. But it's really hard to say that now. It's just been pretty unpredictable from what I've seen in the previous year. So yeah, there are other options you can go for if you think the RX 5600 XT is a little bit too low end. But I do urge you though as well. I've seen my friends play perfectly on AAA titles, like GTA, I guess. Probably the only example I can give you, where they play on 144 hertz monitors at 1080p on medium high settings, and they do pretty well. 60 FPS plus at least, definitely getting into the 100 range, and definitely does well in more esportsy titles like League of Legends, Valorant, things like that, which are pretty easy to run in any case. But I mean, you probably wouldn't be great replacing this graphics card for at least another year, unless you're playing like really new titles like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Cold War or something. I can't remember. One of the new Call of Duties, probably something like Cyberpunk 2077, and probably something like Microsoft Flight Simulator X 2020. Those are probably not going to run that well on these on this graphics card, but it will run decently, probably at low medium settings. Just don't expect too much in terms of graphics performance. Some other graphics cards you can look out for is definitely something like the RTX 3060 Ti, which is completely out of this frame of this video for this budget. It's about $800 from Computer Lounge or elsewhere, or even more. We actually have these in New Zealand. They're not being scalped that hard, and we also have 3080s in New Zealand, luckily. So, I mean, if you want to go for something like this, it should do pretty well. It has better performance than the 2080 Ti or non-Ti, I can't remember. Pretty much the 2080 as a baseline, I think. And definitely a lot cheaper than what the 2080 was before. As well, yeah, I mean, it's a solid graphics card for what it is very expensive, and definitely will be very buggy because it just came out. In terms of software, probably minor glitches, crashes and stuff like that, but those should be sorted out later on. Maybe not a pickup right now, but soon it will be an awesome graphics card. We can also say stuff like the RX 5700 XT. Pretty good graphics card. It's the top of the line from AMD from the last generation. About $749 from Computer Lounge, a specific one, but you can get them quite cheap on Boxing Day, probably like $550 from what I've seen. Definitely a solid graphics card. Remind you, it is last generation, so the performance is not as good as the new 6000 series from AMD, nor the 3000 series from NVIDIA, but at $550, I wouldn't be complaining. That is quite a good pickup. Let's go over to the case now. So we've gone with the graphics card, and that's two of my recommendations. You can also go watch some older videos of mine. If you want, I can link them in the description, and you'll be able to check those out as well. So the case, I've actually gone with a more expensive case for once. It's the Inwin 101 ATX mid-tower case. So this I'm pretty sure I saw this in store, and I I think it has a mount for a micro ATX board. I'm pretty sure it has the standoffs there. If it doesn't, you just move them around and put them in. But I don't think this one comes with fans, but it was a solid case. It's made of steel, and it's really heavy. It's $129 from PC Force. I saw it in the showroom. It looks really good, really easy to cable manage in from what I've seen. And yeah, it was overall a great case. Now again, if you want another case, maybe something cheaper, mind you, the cheaper cases won't be as high quality. You won't be able to cable manage as easily in them, and probably I'd say one of the most annoying issues, as I said before, is the quality of it. You'll find that sometimes the PCIe 60X slots on the back of the case where you place your graphics card down, sometimes a little bit wonky. I know my friend bought a cheaper one, and that was a little bit annoying to build in with him. We actually had to bend that back middle bracket. So from now on, maybe I'll put more expensive cases, but just mind you, make sure it has mounts for a micro ATX board. If you get a micro ATX board, make sure it has the standoffs for it, and if it doesn't, you can probably put them in yourself. But if you want to just make sure it's seamless, just make sure it says micro ATX mid tower case, because a mini tower is a bit too small. Mid tower is where you want to go, so micro ATX mid tower case. Lastly, we've got the power supply. So we've gone with the Silverstone Stratus 650 watt gold certified fully modular ATX power supply. Sorry, I don't know why I emphasized gold certified, just felt natural. I've used this on one of my friend's PCs, and he seems to be doing pretty well with it. It was really easy to build with. I didn't really have any issues at all. Yeah, I'd recommend it. He seems to be going well on it for about 6 months, and $149 from PC Force. They kind of seem to run out of stock quite often, so make sure you pick up one soon. Well, if these run out, probably try one of the EVGA ones as well, that are fully modular, or one of the ones from Corsair would be pretty good as well. If you want for power supplies, you can also just search up power supply tier lists, and you can see what people's general reviews and thoughts are on certain power supplies. But overall, the PC build comes to 1,506, as I said before, and I think this is a solid build. Sorry, this is a bit of a long video. I had a little bit of advice, I guess. But not the best advice. There's other videos as well, you can check for that. But thank you guys very much for watching this December Christmas gaming PC build. Sorry, I've been away on holiday, so I haven't been in Auckland really for about 3 weeks. And yeah, that about sums up the video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you go and check out ystech.org for the latest posts, reviews, and much more. I'll see you guys there at ystech.org. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.